Welcome back to the deep dive.
Oh,
I want to start today with a question that's been nagging me.
okay.
And I have a feeling it's nagging a lot of you listening right now. When you look at your calendar, your to-do list,
Right, the daily onslaught.
yeah, or honestly, just the notifications piling up on your phone, do you feel like you are winning?
Mm, that's a loaded question.
Or do you feel like you're just constantly, treading water while the tide keeps rising?
That is the question of the decade, isn't it? It frames the exact tension we're all living in.
It really feels like it. It's not just that things are busy. Busy, we can handle. It's this low-level hum of anxiety that the rules of the game are changing while we're still on the field.
Exactly. It's the feeling that the goalposts aren't just moving, they're shifting to a different stadium entirely, and nobody told you which bus to take.
And that is exactly why we are digging into this topic today. We're looking at a concept called relearning velocity.
Right. And to give credit where it's due, this framework comes from the work of Dave Gambrill.
He's a digital strategist, an
Huh.
educator.
Yeah, and when we look through his materials, something really struck me. This isn't just another how to be productive hack.
No, it's not about answering emails faster.
It feels much more existential than that. It's really a survival guide for the modern era.
Survival guide is a strong term, but it fits. Gambrill's core thesis is pretty confronting.
It really is.
He argues that the stability we all grew up expecting, the linear career, the predictable market, that's gone.
Totally gone. And in its place, we have this massive acceleration of change.
So the mission of this deep dive is to unpack his solution. How do you unlearn the stuff that's holding you back, relearn what actually works now, and, this is the hard part, how do you do it faster than the rate of change itself?
Faster than the rate of change. That's the key phrase.
It sounds exhausting, doesn't it? I read that, and my first thought was, I'm already tired. Now I have to race the internet.
I get that. But Gambrill's point is that this actually leads to less stress, not more.
How did that work?
Because the exhaustion usually comes from resistance. It comes from trying to hold on to the old way while the new way is barreling toward you. That friction burns energy.
Ah, okay. So relearning velocity is about removing the friction so you can move with the current, not against it.
Exactly.
So let's set the stage. Why do the old rules feel so broken right now? Because for a long time, the old model worked. We aren't crazy for missing it.
Not at all. It was completely rational. For decades, optimizing for predictability was the smartest move you could make.
You pick a lane accountant, lawyer, whatever, you learn it in your 20s, and then you just coast.
You coast on that initial investment for 30 or 40 years. It was a learn once, apply forever model, the gold watch model.
And the value of your experience just went up and up linearly.
Precisely. The rate of change in the market was slower than the length of a human career. So the longer you sat in the chair, the more valuable you were.
And now?
Now, the rate of change is faster than a career. Sometimes it's faster than a 4-year degree.
So by the time you graduate, the syllabus is already obsolete.
You got it. If you rely on what you learned 5 years ago, you might be relying on a map for a city that doesn't exist anymore. The foundation predictability is gone.
Okay, so if predictability is dead, what are we supposed to optimize for? Chaos.
Not chaos, adaptability. The new strategy is to anchor yourself to outcomes, but strictly evolve your methods.
Anchor to outcomes, evolve methods. I want to double click on that because I feel like a lot of people tie their identity to their method.
That's the exact trap.
We say, I am a writer, or I am a coder.
Right. Let's take the writer example. If you define yourself by the method, I type words onto a page, then a tool like AI is a terrifying threat.
Because it challenges your method.
Yeah.
Your identity.
Yes. But if you anchor to the outcome, I communicate complex ideas clearly, then the method can shift. Maybe today it's typing, tomorrow it's prompting an LLM.
The outcome stays stable, but the toolkit you use is constantly swapped out.
Correct. Gambrill suggests we need to build skill stacks instead of being a master of one trade. In the AI era, the advantage goes to whoever updates their operating system without ego.
Without ego. That's the hardest part. And that brings us to the actual framework. It's a loop, and step one is, honestly, the one I struggle with the most.
Step one is unlearn.
Unlearn. It sounds so simple. Just stop doing the old thing. But practically, this is painful. Why is it such a heavy lift?
Sunk costs and identity. Unlearning isn't just forgetting, it's the active, deliberate process of releasing assumptions and skills you worked really hard to acquire.
It's that feeling of, I spent 4 years and a ton of money on this degree. I am going to use it.
Exactly. That's the sunk cost fallacy. You're throwing good time after bad. The things blocking us aren't what we don't know. It's what we think we know that isn't true anymore.
The false positives.
Right. If you believe FaceTime in the office is the only way to show productivity, that belief is a lens. It distorts everything.
And if that belief is outdated, you're operating with a broken compass.
So unlearning means looking at that and admitting, this served me in 2015, it is hurting me in 2026.
But how do you separate that from your identity? If I've been the go-to guy for Excel for 10 years and suddenly AI does it better, I feel obsolete.
That's the ego work. You have to detach your self-worth from the tool. You're not the Excel guy. You're the business insight guy. The spreadsheet was just the vehicle.
So separate the identity from the tool.
If you do that, you become anti-fragile. But if you defend the tool because you think you're defending yourself, you'll go down with the ship.
Okay, so step 1 is clearing out the mental clutter. That creates space for step 2, relearn.
Relearning with purpose.
Now, I want to be careful here because learning can be a procrastination method.
Yeah.
You know, watching 10 YouTube tutorials and feeling like you did something.
Oh, absolutely. That is a huge trap. Gambrill is very specific about this. Relearning is not information overload. That's just motion, not progress.
So this is about targeted acquisition.
Exactly.
Okay, so how do we target? What should we be learning?
He breaks it down into 3 buckets. First, compounding skills. These are the skill with a long half-life. They don't expire next year.
Like communication, negotiation, that sort of thing.
Communication, systems thinking, emotional intelligence. No matter what tech does, being able to articulate a strategy will always be valuable.
So don't ignore the basics. What's the second bucket?
Tech literacy, but specifically collaboration with AI. It's about using this new intelligence layer as a force multiplier.
So if you're doing a task manually that an AI could do in seconds, you're not being diligent, you're just being inefficient.
Harsh, but true. There's no prize for doing it the hard way anymore.
And the third bucket?
Skill stacking. This is my favorite. The idea is you don't need to be the top 1% at one thing.
Which is really, really hard.
Instead, try to be in the top 25% of 3 different things that rarely go together.
Give me an example of a stack that works.
Okay, take a data analyst. There are millions of them. But take someone who is decent at data analysis, also understands public speaking, and has learned a bit about graphic design using AI. Suddenly, that person isn't just crunching numbers. They are a data storyteller. They can find the insight, visualize it beautifully, and pitch it to the board. That stack makes them a unicorn.
I see. The combination creates the leverage.
Yeah.
And the how you learn is different too, right? It's not just theory first.
Right. You have to prioritize application, learn just enough to start doing, then learn the rest through feedback.
Which flows perfectly onto step 3 of the loop. We've unlearned, we've relearned. Now, increase adaptation speed.
This is the velocity part of relearning velocity.
Why is speed the differentiator here? Why can't I just adapt eventually?
Because eventually is too late. If the market shifts in January and you finally adapt in December, you've lost an entire year of opportunity.
You have to adapt faster than the external change. That phrase brings the anxiety right back for me.
But it's not about rushing. It's about lowering the stakes of failure. Gambrill suggests we run small experiments.
Ship, test, refine, repeat. That old mantra.
Exactly. Don't bet the farm on one massive pivot. Run a small test.
So instead of quitting my job to start a bakery, I should maybe sell cookies at the farmer's market next Saturday.
Yes. That's a perfect example. That is a low-risk experiment. If nobody buys them, you learned a huge lesson for $50 on a Saturday morning.
And I can unlearn my bad recipe, relearn a new one, and try again next week. That's the loop. The velocity.
You learned more in one day than in 6 months of writing a business plan.
So let's look at applying this. In careers, you say it's about shifting from tenure to proof of work.
Yes. Your value isn't verified by a job title anymore. It's verified by what you've actually shipped, what you've built.
So stop listing responsibilities on a resume and start showing results. I built this system that did X.
And you have to be proactive. If you see your industry automating a task, don't wait for your boss to tell you. Learn the new way and present the new workflow.
That's how you become indispensable. What about for a business owner?
For a business, the strategy, the long-term vision can be stable, but the tactics must be fluid.
So many businesses fall in love with their tactics.
They do. They fall in love with a marketing channel that worked 5 years ago and just keep doing it while the audience leaves.
So it's about constantly testing new offers, new channels in short cycles.
Using AI as a force multiplier to do it faster.
And for leadership.
Uh,
This one feels tricky. Leaders are supposed to have the answers.
which is the paradox. A leader today needs to build a culture where unlearning is celebrated, not punished.
That's hard. Changing your mind is often seen as flip-flopping.
But we need to reframe that. Changing your mind because you have new data isn't weakness, it's intelligence. It's adaptation.
So the leader needs to make it safe to fail on small experiments.
Or they'll never take the risks needed to win on the big things.
Okay, I'm sold on the philosophy. But I know our listeners want to know what to do on Monday morning. Gambrill provides a protocol for this, right?
He does. The simple weekly practice. And simple is the key. If it's too complex, you won't do it.
Walk us through it.
4 steps, takes about an hour. Step 1, the assumption audit, 10 minutes.
And the question is,
What am I assuming is true right now that might be outdated?
oof, that requires some serious honesty. Like, I'm assuming this client will renew.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just challenge 1 or 2 things you've been taking for granted.
Okay, step 2.
Skill focus, 20 minutes. Identify one specific skill that would solve a problem you have right now.
This keeps it practical. It stops the just-in-case learning.
Yes. Step 3 is the big one, the small experiment, 30 to 60 minutes.
Okay, so let's say my skill focus was on being more efficient in meetings. The experiment is...
The experiment isn't to buy some huge new software. It's to try one new AI note-taking tool on your next call. Just one, see what happens.
Low stakes, high feedback.
Yeah.
Love it. And step 4.
Review, 10 minutes. Did it work? Yes or no? What did I learn?
That's it. Audit, focus, experiment, review.
That's the loop. The magic is in the consistency. If you do
Ah.
this every week, you've run 50 experiments by the end of the year. You've evolved in real time.
That's a great way to put it. You're spreading the evolution out so it doesn't feel like a crisis.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, we have to talk about the traps. What are the common pitfalls?
The biggest one is motion versus progress. It is so easy to trick yourself into thinking you are learning because you bought the book or saved the article.
The read later list is where good intentions go to die.
It's the graveyard. Unless you've taken action, run the small experiment, you haven't learned. You've just been entertained.
At its own. What else?
Overcorrecting. This is when things get tough and people abandon their goal instead of changing their method.
Oh, that's profound. Can you explain that?
Sure. Let's say you want to build a consulting business. You try cold emailing and it fails. Overcorrecting is saying, well, consulting is a bad idea, I quit.
When the right move is to say,
The goal is still consulting, but cold email was the wrong method. I need to try something else. Keep the destination, change the vehicle.
and the final trap is waiting for certainty. Analysis paralysis.
The enemy of speed. In a fast-moving world, if you wait until you are 100% sure, the opportunity is already gone.
You have to act on 80% certainty and just correct course as you go.
You have to accept that finished is not a real state. You are always a beta version.
So zooming out that anxiety we started with, it's a signal.
It's a signal telling you that your internal rate of change is slower than the external rate of change. And you can't slow down the world.
So you have to speed up your own internal operating system.
Yes. And then change becomes leverage. Chaos becomes your friend. Because while everyone else is freezing up, you're already building the new way.
I think my biggest takeaway is actually the unlearning part, the idea of deliberately subtracting outdated beliefs. It's really liberating.
It creates space. You can't fill a cup that's already full.
All right, let's leave our listeners with something to chew on. We've talked a lot about not predicting the future.
Right, chasing prediction is futile. You'll probably be wrong.
So what's the better question to ask?
The better question is this. If you stopped trying to predict the future and started building the velocity to adapt to any future, how would your plans for next week change?
That is a heavy question. If I knew I could handle anything, I'd probably be a lot less worried about what is coming.
Exactly. Focus on your velocity, not the obstacles.
Well, there you have it. That is Relearning Velocity. A huge thanks to the concepts from Dave Gambrill for fueling this deep dive.
It's a framework worth revisiting, for sure.
Definitely. I'm going to go try that assumption audit right now. I have a feeling I'm holding on to some outdated ideas myself.
Let's hope not too many.
We'll see. Thanks for listening, everyone. Keep unlearning, keep relearning, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.
Stay adaptable.